last episode of the season, and right now we don't know when we're coming back or if we're ever coming back, you know, like your dad. So I wanted to take a minute tonight to talk about what drew me to Not Safe with Nikki Glaser, you know, besides the with Nikki Glaser part. It's really cool. But in the past year, I've talked to foot worshipers, professional cuddlers, escorts, porn stars, strippers, sugar daddies, young couples, old couples, dudes on Tinder, pegging enthusiasts, so many incredible comedians, and guess what? Everybody has sex. We're all doing it. That guy over there isn't, but the rest of us are. But it's crazy to me that we're all here right now because some dude was just like, ugh, like that's crazy. And by some dude, I mean your dad. Every one of your dads. Some of them even louder than that, and those are the ones who aren't coming back. But I know, thank you, Bridget. I know that talking about sex is uncomfortable and it makes people all like, how will I explain this to my children? And it's like your kid came out of your vagina, so the least you can do is explain to them what one is. And please don't tell them to call it a downstairs or a front bottom. It's, yeah. I don't know, actually I kind of like front bottom. We can keep that, but. My parents honestly never gave me the sex talk, which is why I talk about sex all the time now. You made your bed, Mom and Dad, and now I'm talking about banging in it. Because sex was such a taboo subject in my household, I didn't masturbate until my mid-20s. So like yesterday. I'm 32. So by the time I started masturbating, I felt like the Billy Madison of jacking off. I felt stupid, left behind, and I could only do it if I was staring at a picture of Chris Farley dressed as a bus driver. Don't do that to me, you guys. Stop it. Here's the thing. I think it's important that we all talk about sex, and here's why. Because he's talking about sex. Yeah, this guy. And not just the adorable stuff he says about wanting to date his own daughter. Oh my God, I love engagement photos. It's disgusting. Last week, Trump told young girls everywhere that if they're sexually harassed at work, they should quit or find a new career. In other words, someone please sexually harass Donald Trump. I beg you. His VP, Mike Pence, is talking about sex. He's also talking about what kind of haircut he might get from the Lego factory next, but mostly sex. He said that if elected, he and Trump will appoint Supreme Court justices who will overturn Roe versus Wade. You know, just like he overturns baby turtles in order to feel joy. Ooh, Mikey likey. You need to talk about sex because these states are talking about sex, and they're all trying to pass legislation about it, like North Carolina and their trans panic bathroom laws, or Mississippi with their Religious Freedom Act. Even Indiana tried making it legal to discriminate against the LGBT community, but thankfully, people rebelled until their shitbag governor caved in and walked it back. Who is their governor? Oh, right, the turtle murderer. Guys, we have to talk about sex. When we're quiet and we treat sex like it's shameful or weird, we leave a void that anyone can fill with their own personal hang-ups or religious beliefs, and that's where shit hits the fan. And I don't mean that in like a fetishy sort of way. No offense, Jim. Talk about sex. Be honest about it. Because look, I'm sure last week not everybody wanted to hear the story about the time I found a Monistat 7 cap lodged in my vagina that had been there for over a year. But isn't it better than pretending that we don't lose Monistat 7 caps in our vaginas? Right? If you're like I was and are ashamed of yourself for what you're into, if you hate that you watch porn, or that you like to lick feet, or that you get turned on when MILFs get hit in the face with pies, you're not alone. The MILF pie guy might be because we broke up, but he dumped me. He said I got too old. But sex is all around us. In fact, sex is us. It's how we got to be here. It shouldn't be something we're ashamed to talk about. So stop whispering. Be loud, be honest, be open. It should be celebrated when we say, like, I have sex, you know? Okay. That's too much celebrating. I mean, come on. It's not like I won American Idol. I'm just a normal person who has sex sometimes, you know? It's not that... Okay. Guys, seriously, come on. It's Year's Eve, okay? Is that Old Lang Syne? Oh, Jesus. Well, maybe we should celebrate it this much. Guys, don't be quiet about sex. Be loud about it. Talk about it. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Nikki Glaser, and this is the part of the video where I tell you to watch more of my videos. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. Instead, I'm just going to look at you judgingly.